Guys, standing hip flexor raises and holds are so tough. Everybody struggles with them. And the main compensation with that one is that as we straighten the leg, the supporting leg bends and the torso leans back, okay? Something that's worked really nicely to help my clients to develop the strength in the supporting leg to combat this is to just take a block, okay, and wedge it between the back of the knee and the box in my case, or a squat rack or a wall, okay? So in order to keep the block in place, I've got to straighten the leg and push the back of the knee into the block, okay? So as I straighten this leg, at any point in time in the in the drill, if I bend, I'm going to feel it, or the block will fall, okay? So that has worked really well. It is hard, don't worry, it's tough, but it helps and you'll build nice strength and it'll be so worth it. Hamstring work, like this elevated variation, we want to make sure that the hips don't shift back too much. So the body's really good at getting out of discomfort, and shifting the hips back allows the hamstrings to get out of the work that they need to do. So what we want to do is keep reaching the weight downwards as much as we can, and then bring the hips forward. So you will feel your toes start to press really hard into your surface to keep you from bailing forward, and that's perfectly okay. Keep the quads engaged, lift the tailbone up to the sky into an anterior pelvic tilt, and just come as far forward as you feel you're able to manage at the moment. Okay, when we're working on our pigeon, it's really easy to lose connection with the glute stretch by allowing this foot to come close to the body or this knee to come outwards, where we get this sort of arrow position, which may feel nice, but doesn't stretch the glutes quite as nicely. Okay, what we can do instead is take some yoga blocks, or these ab pads work really nicely, elevate the hips, and that puts us in a nice position where we've got the ankle in line with the knee in line with the hip, okay? If this foot still tries to sneak closer, all we need to do is put a little bit of weight there, and that'll allow us to do our repetitions of good mornings or holds while this foot stays in place, keeping us in a nice stretch in the glutes. Another really amazing variation of the pigeon is the one with the incline bench, because the extra height of the bench allows more space here, especially if I have tension around the knee in any pigeon work, okay? It also allows me the leverage of the back leg, because the further back my leg is, the more load I'll put on the hip. So it allows me to have a very nice starting point where I can put a lot of load on the supporting leg and then gradually increase the load by taking that leg back. And we can also start doing good mornings with support and then increase as we build strength. We can work up to doing these unsupported. So this is probably my favorite pigeon variation. Okay, so when we're doing our active glute strength work for hip abduction, which is relevant to the side splits and pancake, in the drill of the fire hydrant or pissing dog, there are two main compensations that happen. And I'm going to show you what I do to help my clients to fix this, okay? First compensation is that when we are lifting up the leg, as soon as we straighten the leg, it gets really hard and we tend to move over the supporting leg. So you can see the angle of my hip. I'm leaning over the supporting leg, where we actually want to keep things nice and straight over there, okay? That's the first compensation. And the second compensation is, if I just do it to this side, the second compensation is that this leg starts to drift back, okay? The underbutt says, I will help you, side butt, and the leg drifts back, and so then we lose that side butt connection. Okay, I'm going to show you now how we can fix this. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is set ourselves up against a box or a wall or a bench. Okay, this is going to keep us honest. So if we shift over, we won't be able to. It'll hold us. Okay, then I'm going to set myself up. So I'm first going to set my line up where my foot is in line with my hip, and then I'm going to put something behind me so that when I lift up, if I drift back, even if I go over it, I will at least see it. So I have a little bit of awareness. And if I don't have that much strength and I can only lift a little bit, I will bash into it. So it will keep me also nice and honest. So give those two a try and keep them nice and strict. All right, when we're in our reference long lunge, which is for our front splits, where we're stretching the hip flexors and engaging the glutes to build strong hip extension, we want to make sure that we don't get into the position where this back leg's really nice and straight, but the hips slightly open, okay? A cue that's been working really nicely for my clients is to think about pulling this back hip down. Okay, so that's going to rotate my position, keeping me nice and square in the hips, where I'm building strong underbutt strength for my front splits, as well as stretching out the hip flexors really nicely. So moving into quad territory now, we want to really make sure that in our quad stretches, we're not sticking our bum out into an anterior pelvic tilt, because again, the body's so good at getting out of the tough stuff, okay? So what we want to do here is take the hips a little bit further forward and then come into a posterior tilt, okay? So this is where we're thinking belt buckle to belly button. I'm squeezing my glutes to make that happen, come into a posterior tilt, and over here you will feel the tension in the quad come immediately. So we don't want to move the hips too far back and then lose that connection with the posterior tilt, okay? So rather stay conservative in a position that you can manage, and then remember, you can always find more PPT through the stretch, and then slowly but surely, as you feel ready through the duration of the stretch, you can ease backwards, but don't rush it for the sake of the ego.